The origins of the word cyborg can be traced back to the article Cyborg in Space by Manfred Clynes and Nathan Klein. This is the first recorded use of the term cyborg. In this article, a cyborg is described as something that incorporates exogenous components extending the self-regulatory control function of the organism in order to adapt it to new environments. This means that anything outside of the individual that is used by them to extend beyond their normal human capabilities so they can adapt is a cyborg. 50 years later, in 2008, Vervac analyzed the intentionality of the human and the technology in their relation with the world, saying that rather than separating humans and world, the concept of intentionality makes visible the inextricable connections between them. They mentioned two main types of intentionalities. First is hybrid intentionality, which is indicating the intentionality of human technology hybrids, in which the human and the technological are merged into a new entity rather than interrelated. Second is composite intentionality, indicating situations in which not only human beings have intentionality, but also the technological artifacts they are using. These intentionalities are represented in the figures below. The Klein and Klein's article, Donna Haraway published the most well-known article of cyborgs, colloquially referred to as the Cyborg Manifesto, but the original name for it is A Manifesto for Cyborg Science, Technology, and Socialist Feminism in the 1980s. Other literature has been written about cyborgs, each academic, such as Ida, Joanna Solanska, and Janine Thwett Bates, writing their own definition of what a cyborg is, building upon the term from the Klein and Klein's and Haraway's own articles. Important to know the cultural context surrounding the term cyborg. It was first written about and conceptualized after World War II and during the Cold War, which led to an increase of fascination with technological improvements as scientists struggled for improvement projects which could help to explore the universe. Oracle is the superhero alias for Barbara Gordon. Formerly, her superhero persona was Batgirl and could be described as Batman without the utility belt and skull cracking. But when the Joker shot her in the spine, she became paraplegic and wheelchair bound. Using her genius level IQ and skills in technology and hacking, she becomes Oracle. One example of a cyborg is Oracle in the Birds of Prey comic series, specifically the Material Girl arc. In this arc, she undergoes two types of cybernization, complete and partial. Oracle cyborg is when Brainiac is trying to override Barbara Gordon's mind to turn her into a cyborg. He or she is being assimilated by another cyborg, Brainiac, and as he's a complete cyborg, he rejects biological and organic parts of a being. Figure 6.2 shows that Brainiac asks Barbara to reject her human identity by not accepting what the meat calls her as her name. After he accepts Brainiac's assimilation, her physical appearance begins to change, as shown in Figure 6.3. Her appearance reflects a rejection of humanity as she undergoes complete cyborgization type of cyborg that Oracle is that when she rejects Brainiac, she still retains part of the virus and appears as a circuit board on her skin, much like a tattoo, a partial cyborgization. Here she keeps her human appearance, but is merged with technology through the virus. This is reflected as Oracle is able to physically interact with technology and even physically project and reduce her head cyborg avatar into computer systems. Her cyborg technopathic abilities fall into the transhuman approach to cyborgs as she is physically fused with a Brainiac virus. This storyline can act also as a social commentary of over-reliance on technology, so much so that it infects us and is slowly killing us, our humanity, like it does to Barbara, and the only way to stop it is to completely remove it from oneself. In King's novel Christine, the main antagonist is a car that is heavily implied to be possessed by the spirit of Roland D. LeBay, a previous owner. It could be argued that due to the consciousness of the spirit of LeBay possessing the car, it makes Christine a cyborg. Her organic component comes from LeBay, and the cybernetic technological part is the car itself. If a human mind can be copied and transplanted into a synthetic technological body and be considered a cyborg, like from Ghost in the Shell, then Christine follows the same principle. A cyborg does not necessarily need to be human, it just needs to be organic. An example of this is Rocket Raccoon from Guardians of the Galaxy, a raccoon-like alien with cybernetic components. According to Vivek, Christine can either fall into hybrid or composite intentionality, depending on the way you interpret it. For hybrid intentionality, the possession is merging the car and the spirit into a new entity, accompanied by a new name to indicate this. For composite intentionality, the spirit of LeVay is in control of the car's movements, interacting with the world through the car. Since this book came out in the early 1980s, cyborg was still a relatively new concept. In this story, Christine is thought of as a supernatural entity. However, as previously argued, she is considered a cyborg, explaining the unknown as a supernatural instead during this time period. They're becoming closer to becoming actualized in reality. Technology keeps evolving and medical advancements are getting closer to making cyborgs a reality.